This is the Ridingtimes 1500-watt electric bike. I'm talking about a burly, long-seat moped-style e-bike with those gigantic 20x4 fat tires that you just can't miss. Heavy? Definitely. Rugged? Absolutely. When I first unboxed this thing, I was a little skeptical. Not going to lie. Compared to my old bikes, this one looked more like a dirt bike than what most folks imagine an electric bike should look like. But that's exactly what drew me to it. This bike is built for folks who want a little more power, comfort, and off-road capability in their daily rides. Let's kick off this quick review with the key features. The 1500-watt motor really is the heart of this electric bike. That's a ton of power under the hood, way more than your typical commuter e-bike. It gets up to 28 miles per hour in electric-only mode. I've seen close to 31 miles per hour on a slight downhill, but the official rating says 28. The acceleration is pretty eye-opening, especially when you're used to something more mellow. For hills, this motor doesn't back down, even on steep, gravelly trails or loose sand, which is honestly impressive. Talking about battery life, this model lets you pick between a few different battery capacities. Mine is the 15.6 amp hour version, which is advertised to give up to 75 miles on pedal assist or around 40 on pure throttle. In my experience, real-world range depends a lot on how much throttle you use, how heavy you are, and the terrain. Personally, on my daily rides, about 8.5 miles round trip with some hills and off-road shortcuts, I charge up every night. I find that after roughly 20 miles, the power starts to dip, especially if I'm heavy on the throttle. The bike still goes, but that initial burst definitely fades past that point. I probably could push another 10 miles or so, but for full performance, I prefer topping it off daily. Right from the start, the long seat stood out. The seat adjusts starting at 12 inches and goes up to 21.5 with the add-on, which is awesome if you're taller or just want room to scoot back a bit. For me, it's super comfortable and feels almost like a mini dirt bike. The dual suspension setup is another key feature, with shock absorbers both in the front and under the seat. That makes a noticeable difference on bumpy gravel or potholes. I sometimes take this thing off paved roads onto grass or trails, and the ride stays pretty smooth. There's no backache even if I spend a whole afternoon cruising around. I want to be real about the weight though. This bike is heavy. At around 75 pounds, you're not going to want to carry this up a flight of stairs. Even just moving it into the garage can be a workout if you're not careful. If you plan on lifting bikes in and out of cars or up storage racks, keep that in mind. For my uses, it lives on ground level, and that's perfect. On to the build quality. The frame is carbon steel, so it's sturdy as can be. I actually managed to flip it once during a dumb off-road attempt, and while there's a scratch on the side, everything held up. Only one of the fender bolts rattled itself loose, and even though I haven't found an exact replacement, it hasn't affected my rides. The bike feels solid, not rattly, even after hitting up trails and potholes. It really gives me confidence to take it just about anywhere I'd want to go. I'll mention the tires next, since they're easy to underestimate. These are 20-inch diameter, 4 inches wide, what folks call fat tires. They're awesome for sand, snow, grass, mud, anything that isn't perfect pavement. I rolled over glass once, and after adding some sealant, a product called Flat Out, I've had 0 flats, and the tire keeps its pressure much better. If you're new to fat tires, just remember you might need to inflate them a bit after unboxing. Assembly was mostly straightforward. The bike is 90% pre-assembled, but you do need to attach the front wheel, handlebars, and check over the brake calipers. I'd call the instructions decent, but not as detailed as total beginners might want. Thankfully, there are plenty of YouTube videos out there showing the process step by step. I do recommend double-checking all the bolts for tightness before the first ride. The controls are simple. You get an LCD display showing your speed, battery level, and which pedal assist mode you're in. You can switch between 3 riding modes: pure electric, using the throttle, pedal assist, or all manual if you want to work out. I mostly use pedal assist on my commute, but on tired days, pure throttle is a lifesaver. The display is backlit, easy to read, and the buttons for switching modes are right by your left thumb. Lighting is another thoughtful touch. Both front and rear LEDs are bright. I've ridden at dusk plenty of times, and cars definitely see me coming. The only thing missing, in my opinion, is front turn signals. It's not a deal breaker, but for street riding at night, that would be a bonus. The gear system is a 7-speed trigger shifter. It makes a big difference on climbs or when you want to conserve battery and pedal more. Gear changes have been smooth so far, even after more than 450 miles on the odometer. Brakes are disc, front and rear, plenty for my needs. They stop the bike quickly, even in wet weather or on loose dirt. So, let's talk maintenance. With just over 450 miles on my bike, I did notice some bearing noise up front after a while. I picked up some new bearings and grease, watched a video, and the fix wasn't too bad. This kind of upkeep is normal for fat tire e-bikes, and it's nothing a little DIY can't handle. I also keep the chain clean and topped up with lube, especially since I take this off-road pretty often. One thing that surprised me, the durability. I've banged this bike around a good bit, down branches, curbs, a flip onto the grass, and besides a few dings, it's all cosmetic. All the important parts like the motor, battery, electronics, and frame have held up solid. I did add a pair of mirrors for commuting, which helps a ton. From my experience, the Ridingtimes 1500 Bato electric bike is perfect for anyone looking for a tough, powerful ride that can handle a real mix of conditions. If you want something to handle daily errands, the work commute, and off-road play on weekends, this covers a lot of ground. It's probably not the best choice if you need to haul it upstairs or carry it for long distances, but for everything else, it's just plain fun. It's also a nice entry point for new e-bike riders who want more than just a city commuter. The fat tires and long seat make it approachable and forgiving over bumps, and the 3 riding modes help beginners ease into electric biking. You don't have to know all the technical stuff to get a feel for the controls. Just turn the key, hit the on button, select your assist level, and go. There are a couple of small quirks. The front suspension can feel a little springy on really rough ground, and the weight is serious if you need to move the bike around without riding. The battery charging time is listed at 6 to 8 hours, so if you're a heavy daily user, it's good to have a routine. Charging it overnight works for me. As for assembly, some beginners might want a little extra guidance, so I'd check out some user videos before putting everything together. In conclusion, I'd recommend this for adults looking for a reliable all-terrain e-bike with some power to spare, a comfortable adjustable seat, and components that can stand up to real use. It's more fun, more durable, and honestly more versatile than any of the basic electric city bikes I've tried. I've ridden it through rain, snow, and over trails that would make most bikes tap out, and I've never been let down. If you're ready for an e-bike built to last and excited for a little adventure mixed into your commute, this is a great option to consider. Don't forget, if you found this review helpful, subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below with your questions or experiences. Thank you for watching.